Hi, I'm Joanne. I had such a good, how do I put it? I had excellent feedback from my last video, and I want to thank everybody for subscribing, for watching my videos to the end. It really helped me to get on that YouTube algorithm. So today I have this dress that's my favorite dress because in the summer when it's so hot, I just throw it on and it just feels comfy. I mean, it's not the cutest dress, you know, it's stripes going the wrong way for me, for my size, but I never cared because I said, you know what, it's comfy. And before anybody started doing the dresses, which everybody's doing upcycle dresses right at this moment, but it's probably because it's summertime too. I went on Pinterest and I thought I was going to do it. Instead, do you hear that? That's baby chicks. I've been taking care of my baby chicks since the middle of April. So, been very busy. But this is what I had in mind, to upcycle this. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, I also wanted to point out, because my basement is a work in progress, that this used to be cherry wood, and I redid this. So if you like it, give me a thumbs up. I myself love it. And at first, you know, I had people commenting about how I shouldn't be, you know, covering up the wood, but it was my wood and I did it. So here's my fabrics. Well, this is only a dent in my fabrics. I'm not going to film it, but I'm going to go through these fabrics and I'm going to pick out the colors that I like the best. And, oh, here's another cabinet that I did. Sorry, I do have ADD and it gets to me. Sometimes I'm just all over the place, but it's amazing what a couple of knobs will do for a piece. Look at these knobs. So in here, I have most of my pinks. So I'm going to probably be going through most of them. And I'll make up this pile and then I'll give you a glance at what that pile is. I have quite the pile here. It's ranging from really dark to red. All of my pastels and yellow. And then I have my trims pieces, different size pieces. And then if it all goes well, I have a t-shirt that has stains on it, like most of my shirts do. And I've tried to get it out and I can't. It's already been washed and dried. I really liked this too, because it was really, it's a nice, pretty nice quality shirt. But when I wear it with stains, I get funny looks. Funny story, I was cleaning my oven and then I had to go out and do some errands and I washed my hands and I didn't look down until I kept getting these looks. I had the whole oven mess on my shirt. Didn't even realize it. Oh well. Taking this seam out all the way. So I'm going from under the armpit all the way down to the hem. I'm taking out that seam so that the dress will be able to lie flat, and then I can sew all of my fabric on it. Next, I'm going to cut that whole seam out. I end up ripping it, which may or may not be the best idea. You decide if you're going to do it. That's what I did, so I could get rid of that seam because it was too bulky. And I'm not sure if this is the right or if this is going to turn out to be the best way. This is an experiment I'm trying. I'm going to cut pieces into random sizes and fill in the space that's in front of me. That's what my goal is.
and listen to my
I'm
sweet
just gonna
baby
take
chicks
it to the sewing
chirp
machine
behind me.
and then just sew it down.
Enjoying the process? And come out with a brand new dress. That's my goal here. Gotta have goals. Looking at the blank dress sometimes can stop you, or...
And I have some ruffle. I have to remember, well, this is going to be up on my shoulder, so you can finish seams off by covering things with lace and ruffle. And I'm going to do that. That's going to come down, and it's going to be right about here. That'll be okay. Let me cut this. This is from my journal supplies, because I make journals. And another thing that I'm keeping in mind as I'm doing this is what can fit and how I'm going to do this neck. Let's see. I don't want to cut this neck because this has got some stability built into it. If I mess with it, it's going to take care of that. I know, I'm going to be putting some kind of trim on it. Okay.
So the sweet little chirping in the background are these little babies.
They're going to go out here. And when my husband finishes the run, he's close to it.
So back to pinning, but I just wanted to show you what the sweet little sounds were in the background.
I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. But I am now. I'm going to slide this under my machine. I have a Juki TL18 QVP. It's a quilting, just a straight stitch machine, so it doesn't have a arm that you can slide things under. So you just slide them under this old-fashioned way. Okay, here we go. This is how you start. You just do it. That's how. If you sit and you think about it too much and you worry about this matching and that matching and can I do it and what am I going to do, sometimes you get nothing done. All right, what's going on with this? Oh, I see. I'm turning the presser foot so that it's putting more pressure on the fabric, because usually I'm working with denim or something heavier. Okay, this is also a stretch fabric. It's got a lot of stretch to it. Stretch is not the word, but I'm going to just take these pins out now. As soon as I can take pins out, I am on it, because they always out to get me. And I don't want to glue, so, and I don't have any of that. Somebody had suggested, well, something called Misty. We don't have that in Rhode Island. And I'm not going to take an extra step of gluing everything down. At least not today. I might try it in the smaller project, but for this, I'm just going to go right to it and sew. And that's how I get things done. I start something and I get going and I have a hard time pulling myself away from it. My husband, not so much. He's been working on the chicken run for a week. And granted, he will do an excellent job. It'll come out great. But he does a little bit. Well, that's not true, because he spent all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then he worked all day Monday, And then he came home and he spent another 2.5 hours.
He definitely knows how to pace himself better than me.
But I'm trying to be respectful because he is working and coming home and working on it. So all of a sudden these little babies got big fast. And I want them out there, but not until they're safe. Because we have things like this in our backyard. And I know everybody thinks they're beautiful, and they are beautiful, but not so much when you have chickens. You don't want them visiting you. They don't really live in a cul-de-sac, but it's not out, in 10 acres of woods either. We are started. I'm excited. Now I got the first 2 pieces laid down. Now I'm going to go back and get some more laid down. I'm excited.
Zebs, what are the chickens doing? So I will continue to cut random sizes and pieces from all the fabric that I collected and try not to overly coordinate, but I do find myself coordinating. It is fun for me. And if it's fun, I want to do it, as long as it's legal and not bad for me. And I am definitely off to a great start here. Cutting, folding, keeping myself organized. But wait until the end. Wait till you see my table. And here's where the organization kind of goes out the window. Or into a pile, really. That's what I was doing. Making piles. Not even realizing it because I was so wrapped up in cutting and coordinating colors. And listening to the birdies. Chicky birdies. Did you have a place called the Fabric Place like we did in Rhode Island? It was really cool. It closed. Then Johanne's went in, and now it's closing. This is from 2001. You don't have to wait to embellish with trims and laces and doilies. If you make a pile and put them with your fabrics, then you can just put them on as you're going along. I didn't do that. Another lesson learned for me. Sew a little, pin a little. So every once in a while I stop and cut threads. I have an automatic thread cutter on my machine, so that does help.
Here's where it gets tricky because you want to make sure it's laying flat and you want to make sure you're not getting poked with pins every second. At least that's what my goal is. There, I'm just going approximately 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little more, a little less, just getting it nailed down. Make sure my pins are put away. I do this to myself. I work on a project and then I do not clean as I go. And when I'm done, I get a mess. I just get so involved. But if I clean as I go, I feel so good because, oh, there's that selvage that I was trying to cover up. Well, if all else fails, I'll cover it up with something else. Yeah, so I'm just going to go down the line here. I'm going to go from the top to the bottom and cover everything that I can cover. And then I'll come back and go across. It seems to make sense to me right at this moment. But things change, as you saw. If I have any little gaps that aren't being covered, that's going to be fine, because later on I could add little hearts or anything that I want. Flowers. I don't always backstitch because I'm going to be going over a lot of this again, but where I obviously am not, that's where I'll backstitch. And then when I'm done with this section, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to go and put away the fabric that I just cut and folded and don't need to use anymore, because that'll help me with my thinking process later on. If I don't have such a mess, then I can think better. Sometimes I ignore the mess to get through what I'm doing. And other times, I just can't seem to get past that. Are you like that? I'm not the extreme. I know some people are. My husband used to be really extreme like that. Like, he could not sit down and pay the bills with his checkbook at the table until everything was off the table, washed and dried the table. And that's just one little example. And I personally prefer to have things in order, but sometimes, like right now, I have these chickens, baby chicks, in my basement, and it's a mess. They make a mess every day. I have to ignore it because I know that they're going to go out into their little chicken condo soon. And for now, this is the way I have to live, with chickens in my basement. And it's a good thing. I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful because it took a lot of years to get my husband to cooperate and agree to have the chickens. And now he's out there making the coop run for them. He didn't make the coop, but he's making the run so that they can have something to run in. Because if we're going to do something, we want to try to do it the best we can. That's how we do it anyways. Look at that. So just timed myself. It took me 16 minutes to lay down that second batch of fabric. Looks like I've got all the straights. Oh no, the straights on this side too. I'd like to actually come down. No, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to keep doing it this way. And hope there's no puckers. No, I have to come across here just in case. I don't want it perfect, but I don't want it obviously sloppy. Already changed my mind. See, I was going to do straight, and I'm sorry if you don't like talking in a video, because I seem to be a talker. But
And I did over 3 hours of filming, and I edited it down to as small of an amount as I possibly could. And that took me 5 hours to do too. And here is that trim. Just sew it right down and good to go. Oh, but let's just make sure we're doing the right one. Yeah, that's the one. Let's see what you have.
oh, looks like I missed a spot right there. I'll go back. But that's what we have. It's been about a half an hour or so. It's time for a real break. I'm gonna go and sew that. I cut this for another project that didn't work out. This one's gonna work out fine. I'm working on this side now. Now, if you don't have, I don't have stitches, so I made my own. I'll show you how I did it. What I do is I just go back and forth, holding on to the project, and then just wiggling to the side as I'm reversing. It looks to me like a little bit of a feather stitch. And the whole reason why I started doing it was because I had pieces that weren't laying down for me. And I use doilies. This is a tablecloth, but it's very similar to the doily. And as long as you have it tacked down, it's not going to fall apart. See, you just cut it. Already sewed it down. It's there that was left over. And I sew the edge so that way this doesn't curl up. Now what I try to do is segue into the next color. I'm moving away from the golds, so I'm moving into a little bit of the pinks, but I'm still going to have a little bit of the golds.
I'm going to find the center back and the neck. I'm trying to make it so that the two pieces, when I piece them together, don't come in the middle of the front. So we'll see how that goes. I'm starting about 3/4 of an inch back sewing on this strip, sewing it down. And I have a bump, like a ridge that goes all the way around the neck. That was the neckline. I'm aiming my strip that I just cut, which is about 1.25 inches, on the left side of that bump so that I can turn it under, because I'm going for a smooth edge. Now we'll see how this goes, because I feel like I'm going to run out of this strip, and this is all that I have of this fabric. So I'm trying to make a finished edge to this neck, but I think I'm going to have to improvise. I do have to improvise. You'll see. The reason why I started about 3/4 of an inch back from that strip is because I want to fold it back. So I just finger press it back and then take the rest of my strip and lay it over that, so that when I sew over it, it closes up that gap and it makes it a nice clean finish there. Sometimes I like clean finishes. Sometimes I like the raggedy edge finishes. I was going for a smooth edge finish here, but I wasn't able to achieve that because I didn't have enough of this fabric. And I tried and tried folding it over and making it work, and realizing the mistake that I had made when way back I was trying to stay on the left side of that bump of the neck, that neck edge, the left side of it. I laid down the strip and stayed on the left side, thinking that I was doing the right thing. Well, I used up most of my fabric. So I had to improvise once again. And this is how I improvised. I decided just to lay the pieces down up against the neck edge, the original neck edge, and the piece that I had just sewn down did not completely cover it, so I just laid it flat, and then I just sewed it down all the way around, and my hands just keep getting in the way. It was impossible to concentrate. Sometimes when you make a mistake, you forget that you're filming and you're concentrating on fixing the problem. And that's what I was trying to do here. I was trying to figure out how I was going to make this look really finished at the edge. But just sewing it and then one more step to finish it. I forgot to mention right here when I got to the V-neck, which isn't a complete V, but it's right in the middle of my chest there, I just clipped it and wrapped the fabric around it, and then went back later and sewed that down. I mean, I didn't have any real plan for it. I just did whatever looked the best. I'm just laying this V at the middle of the neck edge there over to the side, And then I'm just going to go back and forth with the sewing machine to just lay that down flat because I don't want that to stand up. And here you can see where I just sewed right over the top of that tubing. I'm going to trim it off, and that's how I ended up finishing it, just by sewing over the top of everything on that edge. Instead of encasing it, I sewed right over top of it. And then to make it look more uniform, what I did was the same thing that I do when I'm making the jeans and I want to distress them. I just took my scissors and just made little clips. Now to put it back together, I'm starting under the sleeves and going all the way down to the hem. Now, because I have a serger, I serged the sides down. It finished it nicely. It's nice and secure. And I left the hem the way that it was. It's a little bit longer in the back, and I think that's going to be okay. So now let's turn this right side out and see what this looks like.
It's a little tight for me, and it's a little too low for me. I don't like it this low. What I'm going to probably do is take it apart and put some V shapes or wedge, just so that this isn't so tight up here. But I'm not going to video that. I'm going to do that and just be done with it because the video is way too long. So when you're doing a project like this, just remember, you do lose the volume in the front and even in the sides. But it's really cute. I mean, I think I could wear it as a dress, or I could wear it even with these leggings. So thanks for watching, and give me a thumbs up and a subscription. I thank you, just like everybody always says.